Hack's heart raced as he led the team through the chaotic spaceport, his sensitive ears swiveling to catch any sound of approaching danger. The acrid smell of smoke and ozone filled his nostrils, a constant reminder of the battle raging outside. "This way," Hack squeaked, ducking behind a cargo container as an Imperial patrol marched past. The rest of the team followed, their movements honed by years of racing and combat. As they reached the far end of the docking bay, Hack's eyes widened. There, nestled between two larger freighters, sat a sleek, unfamiliar ship. Its design was unlike anything he'd seen before, all smooth lines and gleaming metal. "That's our ticket out of here," Jeb muttered, his eyes scanning for any signs of a crew. Killian grunted in agreement. "Looks fast. Hopefully it's got some teeth too." Hack scurried over to the ship's access panel, his small paws already working to bypass the security systems. Years of racing had made him an expert at hot-wiring ships, but this one was proving challenging. Come on, Hack whispered, his whiskers twitching in concentration. Suddenly, the panel beeped and the airlock hissed open. "Got it," Hack exclaimed, a hint of pride in his voice. "Nice work," Hack Vex said, her eyes still scanning for threats. "Let's move." The team piled into the ship, marveling at the advanced technology that surrounded them. Hack immediately made his way to the navigation console, his paws flying over the unfamiliar controls. "Spread out," Jeb ordered. "Learn everything you can about this ship. We need to be ready to fly at a moment's notice." As Hack delved into the ship's systems, he couldn't shake a feeling of unease. They had escaped the immediate danger, but he knew their troubles were far from over. The Empire's forces were still out there, and they were running out of time. With a deep breath, Hack focused on the task at hand. They needed to understand this ship, and fast. Their lives and perhaps the fate of the entire galaxy depended on it. Hack's paws danced across the navigation console, absorbing every bit of information he could about their newfound ship. The others were scattered throughout the vessel, each focusing on their areas of expertise. "All right," Jeb's voice rang out from the pilot's seat. "I think I've got a handle on the flight controls. Hack, can you request clearance for takeoff?" "On it," Captain Hack replied, his whiskers twitching as he accessed the communication systems. He opened a channel to Spaceport Control, trying to keep his voice steady. "Spaceport Control, this is." He hesitated, realizing he didn't know the ship's designation, requesting immediate clearance for departure. As they waited for a response, Killian's gruff voice cut through the tension. We've got company. And they don't look friendly." Hack's eyes darted to the external camera feed. His breath caught in his throat as he saw a group of Imperial troops approaching. But these weren't the standard soldiers they'd encountered before. Their armor gleamed a brilliant white, seeming to shine even in the dim light of the spaceport. "What in the cosmic void are those?" Vex muttered, her hand instinctively moving to her weapon. Before anyone could respond, a smooth, artificial voice filled the cockpit. "Those would be the White Guard, also known colloquially as the Whites. They are the Empire's most elite troops." The team froze, exchanging startled glances. Hack's fur stood on end as he realized the voice was coming from the ship itself. "Who? What are you?" Hack squeaked, his eyes darting around the cockpit. "I am the ship's artificial intelligence," the voice replied, a hint of amusement in its tone. "I apologize for not introducing myself earlier. I was curious to see how long it would take you to notice me." Jeb recovered first, his face a mixture of surprise and wariness. "Well, that's unexpected. Can you tell us more about these Whites?" As the AI began to explain, Hack turned his attention back to the approaching troops. He couldn't shake the feeling that they had just jumped from the frying pan into the fire. The White Guard's presence complicated things significantly, and Hack knew their chances of a clean getaway had just plummeted. As the AI continued its explanation of the White Guard, Hack's paws flew over the ship's computer, searching for any additional information. His eyes widened as he delved deeper into the data. Captain Hack squeaked, his voice tight with worry. "I found more details about the White Guard's armor. It's incredibly advanced. Thick plating, energy shielding, built-in weapon systems. It's like nothing we've encountered before." Killian let out a low whistle. Well, isn't that just my luck? I knew getting this ship was too easy. Should have figured there'd be a catch. Jeb's face hardened as he processed the information. How have we managed to fight them off until now? Hack's whiskers drooped as he realized the implications. We must have gotten incredibly lucky, Captain. The troops we've faced so far weren't equipped like this. These whites are on a whole different level. Vex peered out at the approaching soldiers, her expression grim. So you're saying our usual tactics won't work against them? I'm afraid not, the AI chimed in. The White Guard are trained to be impervious to standard guerrilla tactics. They are the Emperor's, or in this case, Empress's most trusted and capable warriors. Hack felt a chill run down his spine as he watched the White Guard draw closer to their ship. Their movements were precise, coordinated, a far cry from the often clumsy Imperial troops they'd faced before. We need a new plan, Jeb muttered, his mind clearly racing. Hacked, any word on that clearance? Hack checked the comm system, his heart sinking. Nothing yet, Captain. And without clearance. The spaceport's automated defenses would tear us apart if we tried to leave Killian finished, his scarred face twisted in frustration. As the team debated their options, Hack couldn't help but feel a growing sense of dread. They were trapped between the elite forces of the Empire and the deadly defenses of the spaceport. Every second that passed brought the White Guard closer, and with them, the threat of capture or worse. Hack knew they needed a miracle, but they weren't beaten yet. Not by a long shot. The tension in the cockpit was thicker than the mud baths Hack heard so much about on Julius 9 as the White Guard drew ever closer to their ship. Hack's paws trembled slightly as he monitored their approach on the external cameras. "They're almost here," Hack squeaked, his voice barely above a whisper. 30 seconds, maybe less. Jeb's face was a mask of concentration. Options, people. We need options. Suddenly, a loud bang echoed through the ship as something heavy struck the airlock. The White Guard had arrived. "Open this vessel immediately," a commanding voice boomed from outside. "By order of Empress Arya, you are to surrender yourselves for immediate questioning." Killian's hand tightened on his weapon. "Like hell we will." Vex's eyes darted between the airlock and the cockpit windows. "We're out of time, Jeb. What's the play?" Before Jeb could respond, the ship's AI spoke up. "If I may interject, there is a rather significant detail about this vessel that you haven't yet discovered." All eyes turned to the nearest console. "What do you mean?" Jeb asked, his voice tight with urgency. "This ship is equipped with experimental cloaking technology," the AI explained. "It's untested in combat situations, but theoretically, it could allow us to slip past both the White Guard and the spaceport defenses undetected." A glimmer of hope flickered in Hack's eyes. That could work. But the energy required for such a system would be immense, the AI finished. It would drain our power reserves significantly. We would have mere minutes of cloaking capability. Another loud bang on the airlock punctuated the AI's words. The White Guard was attempting to breach the ship. "We're out of options," Jeb declared. "AI, engage the cloak. Hacked, plot us the fastest course out of here. Killian, be ready in case this doesn't work." As Hack's paws flew over the navigation console, plotting their escape route, the ship hummed to life around them. The cloaking device engaged with a low whine, and the external cameras showed a shimmering field enveloping the vessel. "Cloak engaged," the AI announced. "We have approximately 3 minutes before power reserves reach critical levels." Jeb's hands gripped the controls tightly. Here goes nothing. The ship lifted off, hovering silently above the confused White Guard. As they maneuvered towards the spaceport exit, Hack held his breath. The automated defenses were active, scanning for any unauthorized departures. They were halfway to freedom when alarms began to blare throughout the cockpit. Warning, the AI's voice was urgent. Power reserves depleting faster than anticipated. Cloak failure imminent. Estimated time to failure 30 seconds. Hack's heart raced as he watched the spaceport's massive defense cannons swing towards them. They were so close to escape, but with the cloak failing, they were about to be exposed and vulnerable. As the seconds ticked down, Hacked exchanged a look of desperate hope with his crewmates. They had cheated death countless times before, but this might be the closest call yet. The tension in the cockpit was unbearable as the ship raced towards the spaceport exit, the cloak flickering ominously around them. Hack's paws were a blur over the navigation console, making split-second adjustments to their course. 15 seconds to cloak failure, the AI announced, its usually calm voice tinged with urgency. Jeb's knuckles were white as he gripped the controls. Come on, he muttered through gritted teeth. The massive defense cannons loomed ahead, their barrels tracking the ship's barely visible outline. Hacked held his breath, his fur standing on end as they approached the point of no return. 5 seconds, the AI warned. In a desperate move, Jeb pushed the ship's engines to their limit. They shot forward with a sudden burst of speed, the G-forces pushing them back into their seats. Just as the cloak failed completely, they cleared the spaceport's defensive perimeter. The cannons fired, but their shots went wide, unable to adjust quickly enough to the ship's unexpected acceleration. "We made it," Vex exclaimed, a rare smile breaking across her face. Killian let out a low whistle. "I'll be damned. Guess our luck hasn't run out yet." As they soared into Buena Terra's upper atmosphere, Hacked allowed himself a moment of relief. But it was short-lived. Warning, the AI's voice cut through their celebration. Power reserves critically low, initiating emergency shutdown to prevent core overload. Before anyone could react, the ship's systems began to power down. The lights flickered and died, plunging them into darkness. The hum of the engines faded to silence. "Brace for freefall," Jeb shouted as the artificial gravity failed. For a terrifying moment, they were in free fall, the ship tumbling through the upper atmosphere. Hack's stomach lurched as he floated in the darkness, his small paws gripping his seat tightly. Then, with a series of beeps and whirs, the ship's systems began to reboot. Lights flickered back to life, and the comforting hum of the engines returned. Gravity reasserted itself, bringing them back to their seats with a thud. "Power restored," the AI announced. "All systems operational. We have achieved stable orbit." As the team caught their breath, Hacked looked out the viewport. The curvature of Buena Terra stretched below them, a beautiful blue-green orb marred by the scars of war. Above, the stars beckoned, offering the promise of escape and new adventures. They had made it off the planet, but Hacked knew their journey was far from over. The Empire still controlled vast swathes of the galaxy, and Empress Aria's reign of terror was just beginning. But for now, they were alive, they were free, and they had a ship with capabilities they were only beginning to understand. As Jeb began to discuss their next move, Hack turned his attention to the ship's long-range scanners. Thank you so much for listening to this story. I hope you loved it. Please remember to subscribe if you did like it so you can see more videos like this. And please give us a like and a comment too. I'll see you in the next one.